Randy was just up here. Sue and Randy been at this a lot longer than we have, okay? You know, I would encourage, we've been working at it from several different directions. I think that probably should continue in this short period of time. And we certainly can advance the dialogue.
Okay.
Okay, if that's good enough for you. I'm confident we can do that. I don't know whether that will help you in the end, but you know, at least there'll be more information to look at.
If I could just.
Yes.
I would just encourage you to speak with the town of Durham, and I believe they must be under the same timeline.
Yes, we also been chasing
So it would
specifics
seem
from
that
Exeter.
if they have information to move forward, then we ought to have some similar information for us. Because I fear that as we deliberate, inaction is action on the part of this board, this is do nothing. And I believe there's enough information there for the board to make a decisive decision. If the town is going to make one, we ought to have that similar information for us to deliberate and move if it's that favorable.
I suspect that you'll be available to dialogue on this.
I won't have a choice, will I?
Thank you, Paul. Okay, all those in favor of turning over to the Sustainability Committee the fact-finding that we need done on this issue? Everybody? Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Okay, the next is a petition. Yeah, this is a discussion item for the board. Does anybody want to start off? And you propose this for the agenda.
Well, yeah, I put this on, I asked for it to be on the agenda because it seems that when we don't talk about things, we often get, you know, it never goes very well for us. So I thought maybe if we did talk about it, maybe it would, I don't know, be a better situation. I know as a board, there's really little we can do, but we could talk about it individually. I don't really know. I mean, I just put it on the agenda to see where it would go, but, you know, I certainly have an opinion on it, but I imagine everyone does. As Henry said before, there really isn't anything in the state of New Hampshire that you can do to, you know, for a sitting board member. There's no, and what is it, a reprimand, we don't have a policy that has any, and I liked what Megan spoke about, is creating some sort of a policy that might carry some weight if there is something in the future that does something like this. But right now we don't have that. We don't, so it really is an individual decision. I personally feel that, you know, it's really what was it, less than 20% of voters voted in the last school board election? So I feel that it's, you know, the public, people are not voting in school board elections. It's not, people are not showing up, and they don't think it's that important. And maybe if people did show up and they did take them more seriously, and we turn them into more of an important event, because I think our schools are important, I think we all think that, then, you know, maybe this, I don't know, I mean, I don't really know what the answer is. I don't know what the right thing to do is.
I just want to say, have we all seen the petition? Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other further discussion? Yes.
I would support Megan's idea for having the policy committee look at whether it might be appropriate to have some sort of policy about use of social media. I think that, you know, moving forward, you know, if other districts have done this, if it makes sense, that might be something we want to consider. But I think we need to focus on the future. And I think that's an appropriate way to do it.
Well, it couldn't be the policy committee.
Oh, I'm
Could
sorry,
dissolve
I'm
it.
sorry.
It could be the board as a whole.
Sure.
But you want to task
No,
Lee?
we still have a policy committee right this second.
Oh, we do.
Yeah,
No,
it
we
says until we finish the 2011
Oh,
one,
excuse me,
so-
you're right, you're right. Okay. Yes,
Okay. I'd like to, since we're talking about what I said, I'd like to be clear. What I was recommending is that there's really very little in terms of a policy about individual board member behavior, except for the policy BCA, which is our code of ethics. And I don't know how many people, well, I think all of us have read the code of ethics because we all signed it. Hopefully we read it before we signed it. But in there, there's language that says, as a board member, I will make every effort to improve education in the district. I will educate myself on important issues. I will attend meetings regularly to the best of my ability. There's language like that. And I think inserted in there could be something on this topic, because I think, as an individual board member, we don't have any power. However, we are representatives, and we were voted in and represent our electorate. So I think what we've done in the past is not something the board has authority over. Even if we don't have censure power, it's not something we have. But we do have one big piece of power we do have is legislating policy. And I think it's relevant. Our staff, our students are held to standards. I think we should have that reflective in our own code of ethics. So what I did, like I said earlier, I did draft some language. I gave it to Jim and Krista because we are on the policy committee. We can come back with something to the board for a first read, and that's really what I think would be something that we can do, and that's what I recommend.
Ann?
We do have a code of conduct for teachers, do we not?
Yes, we do.
Okay. To be honest, I can't remember what that says, but I would like it to be more full-bodied than just a social media policy, but also about code of conduct. I think that we are, students look up to us, and what is our code? What is expected of us? I think the law, as it states, we can only be kicked off the school board if we violate non-public. Is that correct?
Right.
Is it
Violate your oath of office.
violate our oath? Is that the only way that we can?
Or
There
embezzle
are
funds.
sections as to how you do that, yes.
Right. If we do something.
There's actually a New Hampshire School Board Association policy that stipulates exactly what you have to do to be.
Okay.
And it's about violating. It doesn't say actually. I don't recall it saying violating a code of ethics, but it does say violating non-public and embezzling funds.
But you can do other illegal activities, and
Well, I guess if you're a criminal, you're probably like
Excuse me.
I don't know.
May I say something? I'm sorry, Nancy. Over the past 5 years, 3 school board members have resigned. I'm not going to be the 4th. The same destructive, divisive forces that were active from within that board then are still at play, this time from without. A couple of things about the tweets. A, they were not illegal. Secondly, they were tasteless. And I agree to that. I've apologized to everyone who was offended. That's not good enough. So let me apologize for the contents of the tweets. Whatever umbrage people took from that. To be accused publicly of being an anti-Semite, homophobe, racist, sexist, is people have read those stupid tweets and they have turned me into the existential en soi, the being totally defined in and of itself, like a table or a chair. I will temporarily always exist as such, with no hope of salvation, redemption, or further evolving. And I'm tired. I'm offended at that. I've apologized for them. Let me give you an example now. This is a fallacy of statistics. If you have an a priori conclusion, you can find statistics to back it up. Now, some people have looked at those tweets and have found things that I never implied or intended, and certainly have released criticisms of me and that affects my family that I never expected. People have looked at those tweets trying to find something, I think. It's very much like looking at Peter Pan and Little Red Riding Hood. I read them to my kid, and I know you guys probably read them to your kids. They're a delightful children's story. However, I guarantee you there's somebody who's going to look at Peter Pan and find a homophobic, pedophilia, sexist, and racist story. You're going to find people who look at Little Red Riding Hood and see it as an allegory of some older man molesting prepubescent girls. Oh, come on, man, that's sick. But you know, there are people who believe that. And I offer my apologies again. I don't know what else you want from me. I'm not going to resign. Take that to the bank. But as far as the Twitter nonsense is concerned, I apologize. If I'd known that these would engender such tremendous outbursts and disgust in this community, A, I wouldn't have made them in the first place. And B, I sure as heck would have closed the account the minute I volunteered to serve on this board. I walked into it because I've always coached soccer. I love the place where I live. I've always tried to give something back to it. I had no idea what I was stepping into. But I can tell you this right now. If there are those in this room who wish me off this board, you will have ample opportunity to do so in the elections in March. I'm sorry to have taken up your time.
Any further discussion? Thank you. Okay, Ann? Okay. Okay, any further discussion? So we're going to close this issue for now?
Oh,
Yes.
I'll make a motion to have the policy committee, did we already do this? No. Okay, I'll make a motion to have the policy committee look at policy,
BCA,
what is it?
BCA.
BCA, and add appropriate wording on social media,
Can you name the
although,
title of it?
yeah,
Code
it's
of
Code of
Ethics.
Ethics. I have already consulted with Barrett Christina on this. I consulted with him over a month ago on this.
Yeah.
And there is nothing that the New Hampshire School Board recommends. There's nothing in any other district that we know of that has any type of wording on this particular topic.
Yeah.
So he's been researching outside of states to find anything. He hasn't found anything yet, but we're working on it. So
Well,
if we can't find anything, we're
Tell the
going with what
public who
Megan has.
Christina is.
Second.
Before we accept the...
No, she can accept.
Yeah,
Go
would
ahead.
you please tell the audience who Christina is?
Barrett
Barrett.
Christina is
Barrett
the
Christina.
attorney at the New Hampshire School Board Association.
Yeah, okay, you made the motion,
Seconded.
second by Jocelyn. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the motion to turn it over to the policy committee? 6. Okay, let me ask a question here. Did we miss this? Back here,
Yes, that was an action.
oh, it's supposed to be an action item?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I'll
It's
just
coming
keep it
in,
forward, yeah. Keep it forward. Okay, the next, okay, very good. The next area to discuss is the action items. The first is a policy first read. See attached list, that's all the blue sheets. So, Krista, do you want to start us off at
I'm
your,
relocating myself
okay.
up here. Bear with me while I page through all this other stuff that we just already did. And if somebody at home is capable of reading this fast, they can read the solar presentation that we